Here is the changing narrative. First, the mainstream media tell us coronavirus super duper deadly. So deadly that if you walk outside your door, you are going to die. If you even consider protesting the government response to coronavirus, you are endangering people. Washington Post, a noose, an axe, and Trump-inspired insults. Anti-lockdown protesters ratchet up violent rhetoric. Oh gosh, these anti-lockdown protesters, they must have been committing violence. Well, no, I guess they weren't committing violence, but it was violent rhetoric at least, and that's a bad thing. That's so bad that you need to write a Washington Post article about it. Then, from The Nation, left-wing magazine, the press is amplifying a dangerous know-nothing ideology. The anti-lockdown protests aren't the first time the media has been swindled into cheerleading an extremist faux libertarianism. Swindled, darn it, I tell you. There's nothing righteous about going out there and protesting. This is a dangerous situation. And then, from The Peak, anti-lockdown protests ignore social responsibility for egotistical freedom. It is unacceptable to risk the health of others with poorly considered arguments against quarantine. Okay, you can't go out and protest because there's this deadly virus on, right? That's what they first told us. Until liberals started to protest and until leftists started to protest, then the protests were really, really good. So the next story we heard was that mass gatherings and protests are totally fine if they're in service of Black Lives Matter, or if they're in service of Antifa, or if they're in service of leftism generally. And even when they get violent, they're not really violent. They're not riots. They're not looting. No. They're actually a merry caravan. That, according to CNN.
Not only protesters walking now, but they have several cars that have sort of joined the protest as well. And it's now just sort of a merry caravan. It is worth pointing out that it has been entirely peaceful, sometimes angry, but entirely peaceful. A few people doing some graffiti. When others saw them doing the graffiti, they would shut them down, make them stop doing it. Bottle thrown, which is not uncommon. So there is some of that, but for the most part, they have been very, very peaceful. They haven't been destroying anything. They like to take it out of the media, as everybody does, but rather than yell at us and throw stuff at us, not in a mean way. Yeah. And we'll be fine.
Yeah, they're very peaceful. They're, whoa. They're, oh, yikes. Okay, hold on. But they're oh, look, occasionally they throw stuff at us, but if they peacefully throw it at us, it's definitely not violently and they're screaming at us about all the violent things they want to do. Yeah, okay, there's some of that, but I got mostly, believe me, don't listen to them. Don't listen to the rioters. Just listen to me, CNN. I am telling you that they're not violent. MSNBC got in on the action. This was probably the most ridiculous clip of the entire protest. There's an MSNBC guy in Minneapolis. The building behind him is burning to the ground. It is completely on fire. And the reporter says, nothing to see here.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not generally speaking unruly, but fires have been started.
Okay, it's not generally speaking unruly. It's mostly, that's the building that's on fire. Yeah, it's a long story. We probably don't have time to get into it. Look, just take my word for it. It's a mostly peaceful protest. And yeah, I don't know, something happened. But we'll get to that a little bit later. That was the second stage of the narrative. Third stage of the narrative, finally, when they couldn't deny that it was violent anymore on account of, all the fires and the looting, they admitted that it got violent. And they started blaming white supremacists. Thank you for tuning into the Daily Wire, one of the fastest growing conservative media outlets in the country. If you enjoyed this video, and really, even if you didn't, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss out on any of our content.